Steampunk Skirmisher here to show you this. This is Instant Mold. It is a handy tool for anybody who's wanting to use green stuff to replicate symbols or any particularly small work or detail work on models. I used it successfully in the past to replicate High King Thorgrim in green stuff, fundamentally to use him as a frame for my Chaos Dwarf Sorcerer on Lamassu. I will show you how that worked out with this. Originally this guy was High King Thorgrim. I built him out of green stuff and some other plastic parts, basically before they did the Forge World Chaos Dwarf revival. This is back in the days of Ravaging Hordes. So, today I wanted to show you how to use Instant Mold on a Chinese Federation Tiny Flyer token. Because if you noticed, the Tiny Flyer tokens that come in boxes do not match up with what is needed. For instance, my Chinese Federation Dreadnought only had 4 tokens in the box as was directed, so no problem with Spartan games there. But it needs 2 more to make a full complement. Therefore, I have decided, since I have green stuff and Instant Mold on hand, to attempt to replicate a Tiny Flyer token to bring myself back in line with how many Tiny Flyer tokens I need. If you don't have these on hand, it is much more fiscally prudent to go ahead and just order the extra 10 from Spartan Games. It's only £2.50, whatever that is, and so it'll be about $5 American. Otherwise, Instant Mold will cost you about $12, and a full pack of green stuff will cost you about $20. But since I have both of them on hand, it works out for me. So stay tuned. I will show you how this works. So welcome to my messy kitchen. To start off with, I wanted to show you that we've got my teapot, another little container here to pour the Instant Mold in, the blanks, and the Tiny Flyer tokens themselves. I will show you exactly how to do this. What you need to do first is heat up the water to make the Instant Mold melt. And I will show you, and I'll be right back after I've done this. So as you can see, I have just poured the piping hot water into the pan, and I'm letting it just sort of drift there, letting it warm up. It's going to come up to about the consistency of silly putty once it gets hot. Now, I would recommend finding some tongs or something to pull this out. For instance, I use these rubberized things that I got from Kohl's. I'll show you how this works in just 1 second. All right, guys, here is the Instant Mold. Now, it's hot, but it's not too hot to handle for right now. So what I've done, as you can see, it's pretty easy to just shape and mold and squish. Now, what I've got here are the 2 Tiny Flyer tokens I'm going to make a mold of. So all I have to do is just press the Instant Mold around the originals. This works best with something flat like these things, simply because I just have the one flat side to worry about. I can just press it around like that. All I do then is just let it dry, harden, and then you can just pop those Tiny Flyer tokens out, and then put the green stuff in. So once the green stuff cures, we'll see how the experiment goes. Just let you know that this is a wonderful product, and you can find it at coolminiornot.com. At least that's where I got it. And there's also a Japanese name for it, Oyamaru clay, if I remember correctly. So just to let you guys know. One more thing, guys. This has only been about 2 minutes, and I'll show you. See, there's wonderful flat surface here with the 2 Tiny Flyer tokens imprinted inside. Just bend it, There the tiny flyer tokens completely unharmed. And here we have the mold. The tiny flyer token itself. Now here's the caveat when using with instant mold. You cannot cast anything in something that heats up. For instance, a lot of two-part resins will heat up, therefore it will melt the instant mold and kill your mold. Now, if you want to keep using this, you can just go ahead after you're finished, just heat it up again, and it'll go back to that silly putty shape where you can knead out whatever shape was already in there. So, just keep in mind, you want to use green stuff or something that does not heat up when it cures to make sure that you keep the integrity of the original model. There's something to keep in mind with this. All right, so this is Steampunk Skirmisher one more time, signing off. Keep the boilers hot.